Michael Owen issues World Cup 2026 warning to Harry Kane. Michael Owen has questioned England's prospects of winning the 2026 World Cup under Thomas Tuchel, citing concerns over age, form, and challenging conditions. The former Liverpool striker warned that key players, including Harry Kane, could be past their peak by next summer and cast doubt on whether the squad is showing meaningful improvement. Star players such as Kane are getting older. He's not going to be getting any better. While world-class players such as Kyle Walker will no longer be there, Owen said on 247bet. Even players like Foden are not at the top of their game compared to what they were a year or two ago. Defensively, I worry too. We used to have a lot of good defenders. Now I'm thinking, who's going to play left back? Who's going to play center half? John Stones isn't getting any younger. He added, I think we were probably better a year or two ago. But a lot changes in football. It might turn into a big year for us. But no, I wouldn't be confident about us winning the World Cup at this stage. We're knocking on the door of finals, semi-finals. We're a top footballing nation, but I think other nations may be better suited to the conditions this time. By Bayern Munich, ready to hijack Liverpool move for Mark Guéhi, and want to sign Crystal Palace captain on free transfer. Another European giant is thought to be his preferred destination. German giants Bayern Munich have been linked with a shock swoop for Crystal Palace defender Mark Guéhi. The 25-year-old captains the South London outfit and led them to their historic FA Cup victory last season. Mark Guéhi has been linked with a shock move to the Bundesliga. His performances have attracted the interest of multiple clubs, both international and abroad. And now, according to reports from Sky Sports, he has a new suitor in the form of Bayern. The Bavarian's director of sport Max Eberl is said to be a fan, and would apparently like to unite him with England international teammate Harry Kane. The defender's contract runs out at the end of the season, and though the club are keen on extending his deal, several clubs are circling at the prospect of picking him up on a free transfer. Guéhi was heavily linked with a move to reigning Prem champions Liverpool in the summer. Palace boss Oliver Glasner pulled the plug on that deal in the final stages of the window due to the club not bringing in a suitable replacement in time. But it is believed that the Reds are likely to be one of the clubs coming back in for Guéhi ahead of his contract's expiry. Another major club to be linked with the former Chelsea man is Real Madrid. Los Blancos are admirers of the defender, and are even believed to be his preferred destination if he were to leave England. This deal is made all the more attractive thanks to a niche rule regarding player registration for Spanish clubs. Guéhi was born in the Ivory Coast, and holds an Ivorian passport, which he qualifies for through his father. This would allow him to sign for Madrid as a Spanish national through a piece of legislation called the Cotonou Agreement. This allows players from participant countries to play as Spaniards and not take up one of the 3 non-EU player registration spots given to La Liga clubs. Man United transfer news. Napoli ahead of 2 PL clubs in race to sign Kobbie Mainoo. Napoli are reportedly leading the race to sign Manchester United midfielder Kobbie Mainoo ahead of the January transfer window. The 20-year-old has struggled to secure regular game time at Old Trafford under Ruben Amorim, and he asked to leave the club on loan during the summer transfer market. The England international stayed on after the Red Devils rejected his request. However, his situation has not improved as he has failed to make a single start in the Premier League this season. Lack of European football and an early exit from the EFL Cup have made it difficult for Amorim to select Mainoo regularly, and his situation has alerted several top clubs across Europe to lure him away from the club. Napoli leading the race to sign Mainoo? According to a report from the Sunday Mirror, print edition, page 68, Serie A champions are leading the race to sign the technically gifted midfielder, who was seen as one of the hottest properties in England only 12 months ago. A move to the Naples club could be tempting for Mainoo, where he could not only link up with former United midfielder Scott McTominay but also revive his career under Antonio Conte, who is willing to provide him an escape route. The report claims that the opportunity to play alongside Kevin De Bruyne would appeal to the youngster, who believes that a fresh challenge elsewhere could be crucial for him to get his career back on track. Aston Villa and Newcastle United are reportedly closely monitoring his situation, and both of them could be a good option for him if he wants to continue playing in the Premier League. In Spain, La Liga giants Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid have reportedly shown interest in him in recent weeks, and Mainoo will not lack options if he decides to move on. Should Mainoo leave Old Trafford? Mainoo is a terrific talent with exceptional ball-carrying ability, but he is unlikely to receive enough opportunities in midfield under Amorim, who has openly stated that he will not change his system. Manuel Ugarte, Case Moreau, and Bruno Fernandes are ahead of the youngster in pecking order, and it makes sense for him to look for opportunities elsewhere if his situation does not improve in the next few months. The homegrown boy has looked sharp every time he was called upon, but Amram's ruthless treatment could force him to leave Old Trafford in January. Haaland, beating Kane, Mbappe for Golden Boot a big test. Manchester City striker Erling Haaland has revealed he's feeling the burden from rivals Harry Kane and Kylian Mbappe in the race to be Europe's top goalscorer. The Norway international was on song against Brentford to take his total for the season to 9, but accepts the battle to win the top prize will be fierce. Don't forget Mbappe as well. He had a great start as well. They're doing amazing, so I need to keep up. I have never felt better than I do now, Haaland told the media. It is about preparation, getting ready for the games. You can be physically ready, but you need to be mentally ready. With a kid it makes me even better because I disconnect more than ever. I don't think about football at all. When you are young you think of this and that and maybe worry about things, but when I get home I relax even more. I think I need to give a shout out to my son. This for me, this goal is top. This was one of my better goals for me because of the whole thing. Jack Grealish sends Thomas Tuchel message with last-minute winner after England's snub. Jack Grealish was snubbed by Thomas Tuchel when he announced his England team on Friday. And 2 days later he showed what they're missing. Grealish was part of an Everton side that beat Crystal Palace, ending their undefeated streak and becoming the final Premier League to be beaten this season. The Manchester City loanee netted the winner, days after he was snubbed by Tuchel for the latest England squad. First of all, you want to play well for your club because that's what we do every week, but obviously you want to be in the England squad, he said ahead of the clash. But I do understand it. I spoke to the manager and I understand there's a lot of competition, especially in that left wing spot at the moment. Marcus Rashford, flying, Eberechi, Anthony Gordon, everyone's doing so well. I can't really complain. It is what it is and hopefully I can keep performing and influencing games. Grealish wasn't the only star who was left out of Tuchel's squad for England's friendly with Wales and World Cup qualifier with Latvia. Explaining his decision, Tuchel said, "We're building the best team. Do you have proof of that? It doesn't count what we did in the last camp? I have proof that last camp was our best camp. I stick with the squad. Don't you think that behavior on the bench, support from training, the competition, the togetherness enables the 11 to play like they played? I strongly believe that. I felt it in Belgrade, behind me on the bench. It's not against Phil, it's not against Jack, it's not against Jude. Even if you can turn it around and say it is not. It is for the guys who were in camp and who performed at this kind of level." Arsenal star Bukayo Saka desperate to make England impression as he prepares for Thomas Tuchel link-up. Arsenal star Bukayo Saka is desperate to impress Thomas Tuchel as he earned his England call-up ahead of the upcoming international matches. Tuchel announced his 24-member Three Lions roster on Friday as he left out several top players, including Real Madrid's Jude Bellingham, Manchester City's Phil Foden and City loanee Jack Grealish, who has regained his form after joining Everton on loan. Saka desperate to impress Tuchel. Saka has represented England in just one game since Tuchel took charge of the national team in January this year. The Arsenal star missed the March and September matches due to a hamstring injury, but has now returned to action for the Gunners and has also earned a Three Lions call-up. The winger is determined to catch the head coach's eye with consistent performances in their upcoming international friendly against Wales, followed by a World Cup qualifier against Latvia 5 days later. "I've missed a lot of fixtures under Thomas Tuchel." Speaking to reporters ahead of his link-up with Tuchel, Saka said, "I'm really happy to be back playing for England. I've missed a lot of fixtures under Thomas Tuchel, which I'm not happy with, a lot of them due to injuries. I'm really happy that I get a chance to come back to St. George's Park and train with the team, play with the team. I'm looking forward to it." Saka regaining form. After being hit by yet another injury setback at the start of the 2025-26 campaign, Saka is slowly picking up form as he scored in the Gunners' latest victory over West Ham at the Emirates Stadium this weekend. He has now 3 goals in 7 appearances across all competitions. Saka scored on his 200th Premier League appearance. The match against the Hammers was Saka's 200th Premier League appearance for the Gunners, as he became only the second player in history, after Arsenal icon Thierry Henry, to score in the landmark game. Cody Gakpo makes honest Liverpool admission after late Chelsea defeat. "We know that." Liverpool forward Cody Gakpo offered an honest assessment of his side's defeat against Chelsea, with Estevao scoring late on at Stamford Bridge to win the points. Liverpool winger Cody Gakpo was honest in his assessment of the Reds' defeat against Chelsea, admitting that losing a third game on the spin for the first time under Arne Slot is not good enough. "It's difficult to take," Gakpo said live on Sky Sports. "I think obviously we play against a really good team. First half, they scored an amazing goal, but I think it was level. Second half we fight really hard for the equalizer and we played a little better than them, but they were dangerous on the counter. To concede last minute is hard to take." Estevao popped up at the far post deep into stoppage time to send the points the way of the Blues. Gakpo, earlier in the half, had pulled Liverpool level when he smashed home a shot from close range after being teed up by Alexander Isak. "I don't want to say low on confidence," Gakpo said. "I understand what you mean. In this time, the things don't fall our way. Maybe 5 games ago, they did fall our way. This is part of football. We have to take it on our chests and keep on fighting. We have to keep pushing." Cody Gakpo drew Liverpool level in the second half. When you play at a club this big, it's normal when you lose 3 games in a row that it's not good enough. We know that as players. We are very much aware of the situation. We know what to do, which is going back to the winning ways. I think somehow we couldn't keep the momentum. We have to analyze how and why. We had momentum, and if we kept pushing at that time we could score for 2-1, but somehow we lost it and they gained strength again. They pushed us back on the counter and they scored the winning goal in the last minute. Liverpool's players will now head on international break, with a pause in domestic soccer perhaps coming at a good time for them to regroup. The first match back is against Manchester United at Anfield. "We were the dominant team, but in the last 10 to 15 minutes it was end-to-end," Arne Slot said. "Both teams could have scored. Both teams arrived a lot of times at the 18-yard line. These are the margins that don't fall for us at the moment. We have to work harder to not rely on these margins. As I said, Chelsea, Palace away, these are also teams that ask you a lot of questions." Ibrahima Konate injury concern. Alarm bells for Arne Slot. Cody Gakpo makes honest Liverpool admission after late Chelsea defeat. "We know that. Ibrahima Konate was subbed off before 90 minutes for the 4th time this season, and Arne Slot has revealed that there was an injury concern for the centre-back. The Frenchman was withdrawn from the defeat at Chelsea in the 56th minute, and it saw Slot shift Ryan Gravenberch to centre-back for the remainder of the match. It was the 4th time Konate has not seen out the full match in the Premier League this season, but this time concerns over his fitness forced Slot's hand. It was to do with fitness. He felt his quad a little bit, Slot told Sky Sports after the match. Then alarm bells go off with me. But if the game had gone on like this I would have made the change as well, maybe a bit later, but I did not want to take the risk as they pressed us with the left winger. It wasn't a coincidence that when Ryan started to play there we got more and more into the game and created more problems for Chelsea." Slot later added in his press conference, "I don't know if it is a big injury. He limped a little bit. I asked him and he felt his quad. It might be okay that he went off early enough." As per the Mail's Lewis Steele, Konate went straight down the tunnel after he came off the pitch and seemed to have a grimace on his face. Konate has played the 4th most minutes of any Liverpool player this season, 746, despite questions over his form, with the defender persisted with while Joe Gomez remains unused. The No. 5 was called up to represent France during the international break, and a withdrawal from the squad would confirm an issue that could impact his availability for Liverpool. The first game back is against Man United on October 19th at Anfield, a match that starts another run of 7 games in 22 days, which the Reds are already without a listen for. Former Chelsea player criticizes what he saw Mohamed Salah doing at Stamford Bridge for Liverpool. Liverpool were undone by a late winner once again as Chelsea win 2-1 at Stamford Bridge. It was a difficult opening 45 minutes for Arne Slot's side as a Moises Caicedo stunner was too much for the debuting Georgi Mamardashvili. An equalizer from Cody Gakpo, cleverly assisted by Alexander Isak, right in front of the keeper, boosted the confidence of the side. Everything fell apart when Estevao Willian finished a brilliant Chelsea move to take the win for the London team. Mohamed Salah was one of the Liverpool players who fans were not pleased with after his overall performance. Pat Nevin says Mohamed Salah is not working hard enough. Salah was once again not in his usual form for the club, with a few missed chances and just not being able to influence the game in his usual way. The former Chelsea player turned pundit Pat Nevin was one of those critical of the Egyptian for his performance in the first half, where the Reds went 1-0 down. Nevin singled out the star for not working hard enough on the right flank to try and get his team back into the game. Speaking to BBC Sport, he explained, "Salah has done very little. He is not even chasing back. That's the way he plays, and maybe he has to, because when you need explosive power, he could go and score 2 goals and then he's done the right thing. So far, there is nothing coming from there. In the Premier League, you do need everyone working hard, and with the best will in the world, that is not Salah these days. Mohamed Salah is still not getting enough service. One of the key issues with the team and Salah performing so poorly is the fact that the Reds have been focusing on the left flank for their line of attack. The issue with the reduced service for Salah is down to the lack of a Trent Alexander-Arnold type figure down at right back to dictate play. As there have been multiple changes in that position, it has been hard for it to be used as effectively as it once was, and especially as the 3 current choices all bring a slightly different style. While Jeremy Frimpong would seem like the best fit, he acts more like a winger, so it does not work with both him and Salah playing together. Again, it is a question of balance with this Liverpool team more than anything else, and it needs to be sorted quickly.